My husband has told me a story about a time when he was in the military and he had to do this thing called land nav. Now, stay with me. I promise this has a point. But he had to do this thing called land navigation is what it stood for. And what it was they had these points on a map that they had to go and find, but they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have, the normal ways that we normal people would go and try and find these points that were plotted on this map. They had to do it by using the sun and compasses and all these things I would have no idea how to do. And my husband recounts this land nav. They had to do it once in the day and once at night, and they had to find X amount of places in a certain time frame in order to pass. And he said the first time that he did it, there were, 30 of them, however many there were. And right when the timer went off and it started, the majority of people, if not all of them, took off running towards these destinations. Although they didn't know where the destinations were because you had to plot them first in order to know where you were going. But they just figured if I do it faster, if I do it quicker, then I will get there first and then I will win. I will be done with it. I'll be able to move on to the next set. My husband, his name is Rob, he was telling me this. We were talking about it just the other day, and he said, I was the only person who stayed back and spent a good 30 minutes plotting my exact course, so that I knew when I walked out that door that I wouldn't have to run because I knew where I was going. And then he told me about how once it was all over, many of those people who took off running, a lot of them didn't even finish. They had, I think, 24 hours. And these people who were running, being frantic, because they didn't take the time to plot the course, they ended up not even finding the course. They didn't know where their destination was. And so they didn't know where to go. But they took off running, eager and excited, but ultimately it ended up failing. My name is Kimberly Holmes. I'm the CEO of Marriage Helper. And I understand what it can be like when we are focused and driven and we are excited to accomplish something or to get something or to do something in our lives. Maybe it's to restore our relationship or to save our marriage or something like that. We are excited to get it going and we want to. We want to save our marriage. We want the divorce to stop. We want to stop fighting with our spouse. And there's a period of time where we don't know what to do, but then when we start learning what we need to do and we start getting guidance, like with the tools and resources that we teach at Marriage Helper, it can become clearer of exactly what we need to do to stay this course in order to restore our relationship, to make it better than ever before. But life happens. And if we haven't taken the time to maybe take a breath, pause, plot where we need to go and plot our path, then we may end up getting off course because we haven't taken the time to really develop the foundational strategies and habits and even understanding of what it is that we need to do in order to make the relationship work. Let me put it even more simply. When you want to make your relationship work, at first, you are ready to do it. You want to, you're driven. There's a pain point that you're wanting to overcome. You don't want you and your spouse to keep fighting. You don't want to continue to live separated. You want to stop the divorce. Whatever the feelings are, whatever the things are that you're wanting to stop and change, you're ready to do so. And you start doing it. Maybe you decide that you're going to start being more patient, or you're going to start working on yourself, or whatever that might be. But a couple of days into it, maybe you end up getting angry, or maybe you forget to work out, or maybe you stop doing some of those good habits that you were trying to implement, and all of a sudden you're off course and you don't know how to get back on and you don't know where you're going. And that can be frustrating. It can be frustrating enough that it might take you completely off course to where you give up. And I don't want that for you. And you don't want that for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about some tactical things that you can actually do to help you stay on course in the middle of when life is trying to take you off course of trying to save your marriage, restore your relationship, and have a better relationship than ever before. But before I do that, be sure to subscribe to this channel. and hit the bell so that you will be notified every time we go live or we release a new video, which we're doing all of the time. And be sure to comment below and let us know what are some ways that you are staying on course in the middle of when life is trying to take you off course. Now, when you're watching this, depending on when you're watching it, I'm filming this in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, where so many people had great intentions. They were doing things to work on themselves. They were going to the gym. They had study groups they were going to. They were in college courses. And then all of a sudden, this happens. And it was enough, it is enough to overwhelm us to the point where it knocks us off. The question is, are we going to be knocked off course temporarily, where we just stumbled a little bit and we just need to take a few steps to get back on? Or are we going to let it knock us off course and say, well, because I'm off, I might as well abandon completely. It's just not working. I encourage you to not take the viewpoint of it's too much, it's not working, it's never going to work, because that kind of self-defeating mindset isn't going to help you in the long run. In fact, if you think of your brain as being like a muscle, it is even better for you, for your brain, for your mindset, for your mental health, that when you get knocked off, that you continue to get back on course, because it shows you over and over again that you can. You prove to yourself that you have it in you, that you are good enough, that you can do it. So here are 5 things that I want to encourage you with to help you stay on course and move forward in the middle of this time of the coronavirus pandemic. And maybe you just heard my daughter run through the kitchen telling us how she needed to go potty. So I'm just going to keep on. I'm going to keep on trucking, because that's what life is. I'm staying on course. So number 1 is this: gratitude. Whether you keep a journal, whether you write it in your phone, whether you talk about it with your kids every night at dinner, I want you every single day to not just think, to write or say or both 3 things that you are grateful for. They can be 3 things that happened that day. Maybe you say, I was able to plant all of my garden seeds today. I was able to make a healthy meal. I was able to go get a walk. Or maybe you talk about 3 things that you are grateful for. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my friends. Put your mind in that mindset of thinking positive thoughts. The second one is remember your goal. Write down what you are on course for. If you're wanting to save your marriage, write it down. Write down not just that you want your relationship to be restored, write down why it is important to you. One of the reasons it can be so easy to get off course is because we forget what our aim is. We can forget where we're going. And if we don't have a destination, then anything we do could get us there. And that's not the best thing. We want to know where we're going, and we want to know how to get there. So remember what your goal is. Remember what your vision is for your future, for yourself or for your relationship, and keep that as a main focus. Put it on your bathroom mirror or on your fridge, or probably not in your car if you're not driving anywhere right now, but put it somewhere where you will see it so that you will remember what you are aiming for. That is a huge part in being able to stay on course. The third thing is to exercise. Now, that might sound trite. I'm a little bit biased because I love exercise, but there are so many good things that exercise does for you. Even in just how it increases your dopamine and works with all of your hormones and chemicals in your body that help you to feel good and keep you focused, just the way it starts pumping blood through your body. I don't care if you just go for a walk. 10 minutes a day, go out and do it. Bonus if you get out in the sunshine, because vitamin D makes everything better. And I won't get into all of the research, although I could. But if you're looking just real quick to make your hormone levels better, to increase the amount that you're able to sleep every night, to decrease your hunger signal so that you won't be eating things that you don't need to eat, to control your appetite better. If you're wanting to just feel better overall, vitamin D from the sun does all of those things. So when you exercise, especially in the sun, it's going to help you stay on course because it's going to keep you grounded. the things that happen in our body when we exercise, when we move, when we get the blood pumping, it starts to make changes within us. And I won't even get into all of how it does that in our mind and in our body. But when it comes to your goal and the course that you're on, when you realize that you have accomplished something, even something just like walking for 10 minutes a day outside, then your mind is going to believe that you can do even more. And it's a great routine for you to have as a healthy habit that keeps you focused every single day. It's something you have control over. Even if it's raining, you can go for a walk or do a workout inside. It's something that you have control over, that you can choose to do on a day-to-day basis. And when you choose to do it, then that makes other decisions in your life even easier to come by. The fourth point is to allow time for yourself. It can be easy to get overwhelmed by external demands, kids that are in the house asking things of you, things that your spouse is asking of you, work, whatever it might be. You can feel tapped at the end of the day. And the more that you give of yourself, the more that you need to fill yourself up. But typically that's not how we do it. We typically give of ourselves, don't fill ourselves up, and then start it all over the next day. We can get burnt out, worn out, stressed out, and want to give up. So be sure that you allow time for yourself, whether that's part of this walk, going out and exercising every morning, taking a bath every night, a bubble bath, taking a longer shower to where you just have that time, or just setting out 30 minutes in the middle of your day to have peace and quiet and to do something that you enjoy. That is going to be so important for you to be able to stay the course. And the fifth point is this: take it a day at a time. Yesterday may not have been perfect, but you have the ability to make different choices today. Even if you got off track once or twice or even 7 times, you have the ability to get back on track. You can do this. You can stay on track. Even when life is trying to throw things at you, you can. So remember, the acronym that we're going to use is GREAT. You can stay great. You can head towards greatness by remembering to do these things: gratitude, remembering your vision, exercise, allowing time for yourself, and taking it a day at a time. You are great, and you can continue to be even greater by focusing on these things, staying the course. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. Take these lemons that life is throwing you, make lemonade from it. And I don't say that tritely. I know it's hard. I know that in the middle of everything, it can feel overwhelming and like it's not even possible. But it is, and you can. And you can show yourself that you can do it. At Marriage Helper, we can help you if you're looking for resources, for teachings, for tools on exactly what you can do to change the dynamics in your relationship, and also to change what's happening within you, how you can focus even more on yourself. You can find out more by going to marriagehelper.com, calling our office, speaking with our team at 866-903-0990. We have workshops, we have online courses, we have coaching available for you and for your marriage situation. I hope that you use this time to stay the course, that you get back on even when you have been knocked off, and that you come out the other side of this even better than before.